Hey everyone, this is Charmaine here. I'm going to show you a video presentation on an application of technology called NearPod. So let's Google NearPod. It's just www.nearpod.com. So once you get to nearpod.com, I'm going to show you how to sign up as a teacher. So if you just click on there, you just enter in your email, make a password for yourself, and then you can sign up. I'm just going to go to the sign in because I already have an account made. Alright, so once we get into our NearPod account, you're going to have a home screen with all of the presentations that you've been working on. As you can see, I have a few presentations here that I have uploaded. To start, we're going to just focus on the NearPod one, which is going to be on everyone's account when they sign up. Alright, so what is NearPod? NearPod helps you engage students by combining slides taken from a PowerPoint, a keynote presentation, or an Adobe presentation, and then it integrates multimedia elements such as Twitter links. You can put YouTube videos into it, you can do virtual field trips, you can do different graphs, all kinds of stuff like that. And then also it integrates assessment tools. So it is an interactive PowerPoint kind of presentation where your students can join in to the classroom presentation that's going on, and you can get feedback from the students. So a few key points of NearPod is that you can share fun and interactive content with students, instantly collect and share answers submitted by students, and you can track students' comprehension in real time. So it's a great formative or summative, if you like, assessment tool. So now I'm going to show you how to get your students involved with a PowerPoint on a math concept. Okay, so I want to show you how to get your students involved in a presentation using NearPod. So I'm just going to go to a split screen so that you can see what the teacher screen looks like and what the student screen looks like. So on the left we have my library as a teacher, and then on the right we just have nearpod.com/student, which is the URL that I would give students if they are going to be joining in a session. Alright, so for an example, I'm going to use the Finding Slope Review, which is actually a lesson that NearPod provided. You can actually download different lessons that have relevant curricular concepts in them. So I found this slope one because I'm going to be teaching grade 9 math, so I thought it would be nice to do a math one. When you click on Live Session, a pin will come up, and this is the pin that you would give your students that they can enter in on their device so that they can enter into the presentation. So on the student screen here on the right hand side, I'm just going to enter in the pin. Alright, and then the students are going to have to add their name, so I'll just write George, and they can click Send. And then they are now entered into the presentation. So the student screen, they can only see what the teacher puts up on the screen. So the teacher has control of going to the different slides, and their screen looks a little different than the student's screen. So as you can see, there's arrows here for the teacher, but not for the student, because the student can't go back and forth. So if we go to the next slide, just a little explanation on the teacher who created this. To start out this lesson, it's just talking about the objectives. I'm not going to go through all of the details of the lesson, but I just wanted to show you what we can do with it. So here we have working in pairs, and then coming back from working in pairs, students have the opportunity to write what they discussed about in here. So they would just type it in. So for example, how do you identify the points on a graph? So to identify the points on a graph, and then they would write their answer in. And then at the end, when the student's ready, they would just click Send, and then it'll pop up with the student's name and their answer that they've participated. So this is going to be a record you can go back to later and be able to check for understanding. Okay, let's continue to flip through the slides. All right, so just an informative slide. And now this is a drawing app. So this is asking you to find the slope of this graph. So in the previous slide, they learned how to find slope. So you would just have them actually draw. If they're using their iPad or an iPhone or anything that they can actually has a touch screen, they can use their finger or a stylus. If they're using a computer, they can click on it to draw it. So since I'm on a computer here, I'll just click on 2 points, one there and one there, and then I'll draw that the rise looks like it's 3 and the run is 1. So I would go 3 over 1 is equal to 3, and I would say the slope is 3. So the student would just send their answer in, and as soon as they send it in, then on the teacher screen, George's answer will pop up. So here we can see that George's answer popped up. If the teacher wants to click on it and see it, you just click on it and it will come up, and there's an option to share that as well. Okay, moving on. So there's just the answer to that. As we can see, it's 3. That's great. And then there's just some more drawing problems. So I'm going to just skip through these because there's quite a few of the same things, so the students can get lots of practice. After students have gone through all of these practice problems, then there's another discussion activity. So students have the opportunity to write an answer in. So slope formula and finding slope using rise over run are related because, and then they would write their answer in. So we'll just send that over, and then once again you can see it pop up on the teacher screen after it's sent. Okay, so let's see what else there is. Okay, and then there are assessment tools. So now this is coming near the end of the session. There's a quiz question. So on NearPod, it's going to say ready to take a quiz, and the student will click go, and then you can answer the questions. So student would answer one of those. They would send their answer in. And then there's more questions. If they say you haven't chosen an answer, are you sure you want to continue? Then students say, no, oh, I didn't choose an answer, so choose a different one. And on the teacher screen, it will come up if they got that correct or incorrect. So there's all these quiz questions that they can go to. So to submit it, you would tap next, and then students would say thank you. And you can see on the student stream, I wasn't paying close attention, but the student happened to get 0 correct for that. But hopefully your students would do better than that. Okay, and then the presentation is over. So that is a NearPod presentation. Once you have your presentation finished, you can go back and view the reports on it. So if you just go to these 3 little dots in the corner and click report. So one of the reports was, this was the presentation that you just did, and then it says you had 1 student in the presentation, and you will have, if you click on that presentation, you can actually view how the student did. So there, George got 27% on participation, 6% on draw, 33 on quiz, and 67 open-ended. This is a really handy tool to use for assessment because you can go back to it later and enter it into your grade book, and it becomes a really useful tool for teachers. Alright, so that is NearPod. I would be happy to answer any of your questions if you want to ask me questions following this presentation, and I really hope that this can be something that is helpful in your practicums and your future teaching. Thank you so much for listening.